last time I was messing about and setting up the indoor grow pond, the Dembicoi pond, basically feckling it up, whereabouts, thinking where I'm going to get it. Well, now I'm going to run you through where it's set. I apologise for not running through how to set it up and that type of stuff, but it's pretty self-explanatory stuff, to be fair. It's really simple stuff, so I'll spin you around in a minute. Now, everything you see in this greenhouse, you've got to take a bit of a pinch of salt because it's a little bit backwards, I think. So if I go here, this is a true reflection of my greenhouse. So when on my previous video it was lengthways, so I wanted space here. So what I've done, I've reorganised all this side, so I've got an L shape now for summer plants and some tropical plants, and I've put the actual Dembicoi pond across, and that is 2.2 meters, 1 meter, I think 1.2, something like that. So, and it looks deeper than it is because it's on like a foam platform. So I've got this space in front, so I managed on the last video, it was all in here, and then I spent that day or the next day reorganising it, reorganising all this benching. I've got benching right at this bottom end now that wasn't there because it was all the way here, and now I've moved it down into this corner. So that is the view as it is. Just ignore that pot. So what I will do now is spin it round, not spin it round, but click my camera so it flips to the front, but it might look backwards the way you look at it, because I like to look at the camera, see what I'm videoing, but it means that you get it like a mirrored version. Otherwise I'd have to leave it this way and film, which is no problem, but I tend to find I get a bit shaky that way. So in fact I'll try it. If I spin you around, this is the pond, this is what I've done. So this was all staging and all down here, down this midsection, so I've removed all that, and now like I said, I've got this pond set up this way, so I think it's a lot better this way. So I've still got this grow. This is 1,000, just under 1,000 litres, which you've all seen. So they're basically piped up independently. So now, I mean, this one, it looks so much more professional. So basically what we've got is the bottom drain. There is the bottom drain, and it goes up here into the Eazypod, as many of you will know. Floods in here, comes round the outside on the chamber on the outside, like so, and I've about got it smack on now. Now the only problem is it's a powerful pump, 10,000 litres an hour. So it's real on its maximum. It's only on 13 watts, but that is still a quarter. I think this goes up to 85 watts. So I'm still pushing, still turning this pond over every hour, because this is about 2,000 litres. So I've about got it set up right, because if I put the pump up more and drag more through it, obviously the level in here goes too low. So yeah, it goes in there. Very simple outer chamber, and then it goes through the stainless steel, comes round here, because it's like a circular motion. The heavy debris fall to the bottom, any heavy deposits, poo, things like that, the bottom drain drags in by gravity, and then obviously it flows through. You see there, it's at a certain height, so the lighter stuff has got to go through this media, K1 micro, and then this is the biological as well. So this should be, well, there's plenty for this pond. This can go up to a pond with no fish, I think 10,000 litres, and then I think with goldfish something like 6,000-7,000 litres. Then with koi I think it's a maximum of 5,000 litre pond. So this is, you know, miles, no, it's well sized for this. Put the net on top, and what I've done also, I've transferred 3 fish out of this grow into this one, which I'll show you in a minute, and I've actually turned the heater off to this, so there's no heater now. It's just one pump there, one pump there. So then what it does, it flows into here through the micro K1 biological filter, you know, filtration, and then collects muck as well. And then when you clean it, it's got a air line in, and then you open the air line and you bubble the media for about 10 minutes. You put the pipe in here like so. It blocks off the return to the pond like so, and then you put the pipe in, turn the pump off, and then you can boil this, and then you open this to drain. There was like a flexible pipe he gave me, so I've just put that to outside, so it goes to the outside of the greenhouse now, out this wall here. So that's that. And then with the pond as well, with the setup, I got this. I got the 70 pump, so that's providing the air stone. I've glued a round air stone to the actual bottom drain, so it comes into the bottom drain is 2 inch into the Eazypod, goes through, down into here, and then it pumps up into here, and then into the return, which is there. You can see the ripple on the water, so the return comes here, 2 inch. And then there's the 3 fish that I've put in. I've got the karashigoi, the koi diaries grow and show karashigoi, the koi diaries kohaku, and those 2 fish are by koi farm. And then I've got the sanki that I've got with the actual pond, and then the other fish is still in there with the tancho and the butterfly koi. And that is it. It's so simple. Flows in, gravity, pumps out and in. Job done. And I've got a separate outlet there on the bottom drain in case I want to purge it. So that's what that's there for. Can actually blast the bottom drain into a bucket or something. I might dig a hole here. I've not got the UV set up yet. The UV, because I didn't have enough pipe work and stuff. I wanted to get it circulating and get it maturing, get some fish in, get some ammonia in there, get the cycle going. Because this media was actually washed out when I got it, so I think there will be some bacteria still on there, but it's got to redevelop. It's a complete different setup for brand new, you know, clean water. In the water, when I filled it up, cleaned the sides. It was a nightmare because the actual sides were covered in a thick algae. It was an absolute nightmare. And you can see down there, you might be able to see like a brown mark on the wall. I clean the bottom, I clean off the wall, but half of it is still got the algae there. And then when I filled it up with water, I could have just left it, but I've got prime. And this detoxifies, removes chlorine, chloramine, detoxifies ammonia, nitrite and nitrate. So I could keep putting this in just to keep the ammonia down if I get a spike. And that's the controller for this pump, which is on this, I think that's 10,000 litres that could run for goldfish, and it's only running 1,000 litres. So that's the electrical box. It's basically an extension from there with that socket there. I've got to clip all that, comes round there into this waterproof box, and then it's just got an extension, 4 plugs on it, and then I can plug up to 4 connections in there, and that's it. So the Evo UV clarifier, I've just got to, if I want to start using that, I've just got to disconnect this, come back on the pipe work around here, and then put that, because that was, oh dear, when I got the, that was there. So that was actually there like that. So that technically what could ideally be there, but look how tight it is. Because obviously it's a different pond, because on the guy, when he originally had it, the Eazypod was at the far end, over in that corner, so it had more room. So this part here was actually longer, but obviously with mine it's more compact. So if I want to make use of this, I'd have to get a boot, cut that back, cut this right back, so it's sort of here, and then get a 90-degree bend on the end, a rubber 90 bend, come down, a rubber 90 bend on here, pipe across, pipe up, and then a socket there. Easy stuff. It's not on yet, so don't worry about that. It's not worry about that, guys. It's not on. But this here, I've never had the UV on in this, and I've never had an algae problem. Okay, so I don't know. I'm gonna see how that goes. See what it does. And hope that it doesn't need it. I mean, in summer I could put shade cloth over it. Like I've got plenty of this green shade cloth on. I could put it on a roller, just roll it, and then just roll it down. If it's shaded, I don't think it'll be a problem. And it's an indoor grow anyway, so this will get warmer quicker because it's indoors than it will outdoors, so they'll have a benefit. And obviously the heater isn't on this line anyway. So yeah, it's not ideal, because I think I would prefer if the heater was on this one, so the heater was actually here on a slab, so the pump came out probably, I don't know whether I could point that down or put the pump on the floor, so I have a slab here, big slab, and then a bend on that pointing down, comes in, goes into the pump, goes across into the heater, comes out the heater into the UV, and out the UV into this pipe and into the pond. But I've not decided what to do with that. But sort of in a bit of a panic mode. This was at about 13 degrees last week when the sun was out. I turned it off so it naturally falls down to an ambient temperature in this greenhouse, which is at the momento is 11 degrees. So it's 11 degrees in here, so I should find that this will be 11 degrees roughly. Same with that one. I broke my little thermometer, so but I would imagine that this water is about 10 degrees in these two at the moment. So this has technically dropped 3 degrees in the last week. So yeah, so it's a lot better than outdoors, because the outdoor pond is probably about 6 degrees at the moment. So I'm probably about 4-5 degrees higher in here. You can see them in there. Just got to keep an eye on these now. Let it run the cycle for the next month. I'm not going to feed them, just feed them sparingly. The odd few pellets, I've got some sinking ones, some small sinking ones there that I will just drop a couple in just to get that cycle going, get them eating, get some ammonia going, and all that stuff. So that's it. What do you think? I think it's a lot better in here now. Just need a bit of a tidy up. It's a bit more functional. So I've got my Japanese orchids there. I've got my South American orchids here. I've got some Japanese orchids there, and then I've just got some areas where I could put some plants under there if I want. I've got that koi pond there, this koi pond there, so I've got to decide what I do now. Now I've got two. Do I purely just keep this running or shut it down? Do I shut it down? What do you think, guys? Put in the comments. Do I drain this off, clean it, and then purely use it as a hospital tank? So if a fish becomes ill or poorly, I could put it in here on its own. So it can be this would be a, you know, a QT. And then if I needed the heat to sort of raise the temperature to nurse the koi through, I could use that as a, you know, or so I'll put the heater on there and have that purely as a full, you know, I mean that would, to heat that, to go from 1,000 litres to double, I'm literally, well, don't take it, I've got to be a brain surgeon to work that one out, I'm literally doubling the heating bill in here because that's twice the volume. So yeah, and with the current prices, my bill is going up from £3,000 a year to £4,000. You see the ripple on here? So that's from the round, I think it's a 4-inch flat air stone on the bottom drain, stuck to the top. So it's going to be, the air is going to be coming up, pulling the bubbles with it, and then the bubbles break on the surface. But actually these, I don't know whether you know, but the pumps don't actually put air into the water. So it's a misconception that people think that the air pump actually directly pumps air into the water. It doesn't. It's the motion of the water creating the bubbles, pulling air through the water, like I say, creating the bubbles, and then the bubbles breaking on the surface. That's how it creates oxygen. And then because that's on the bottom drain, it's pulling the water up, so it's almost got this cycle. So as it's pulling up, it's causing an uplift, so hopefully that will, with the fish moving about, that will pull in any debris through the bottom drain. One other thing to mention is you can actually pump feed these, so similar sort of setup. This on a pump setup would have to be high up, like sat in the corner, and then the water, you'd basically have the water, you'd have the bottom drain would come off straight into the pump would pump into that, so it flows in, pump and flows in there, so it's positive pressure going in as opposed to gravity, sort of the pump pulling it, it's pushing in, flowing through, fills up, and then that would just discharge, that 3-inch pipe just then discharges into the pond. But I think they look a lot neater like this. This is what a lot of people do. It's harder work because the filter's got to be below the water level, as you can see, but with space like this it's fine. So I'm one happy chappy with that. What do you think? Let me spin you around and get my ugly mug in there. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the setup. I'm just hoping these fish settle in. Yeah, buzzing, absolutely buzzing. All done, all set up. Now, I put a short on the other night. We had a bit of a laugh about the K1. God. So I was having a play about with this, as you do, and when you bubble this, so you put the air on, it bubbles the K1, so the K1 dislodges all the muck inside. Now as it does that, the K1 rises, and if you're not careful, if the water level is too high, then what you can find is the K1 will spill over into the outer, and then it just goes into the outer chamber, and then overflows into this gully. This is the overflow. So if that becomes, the water level gets too high, the water can go in here instead of overflowing here. It overflows into here and down into the middle and back into the pond. And what you don't want is K1 spilling over and going into there, and then getting in the pump and into the pond. So looking at some other people, it looks like that has happened. Now, what a lot of people have done is they've put a piece of plastic like this onto here so it keeps it in. However, I was going to do that and I was about to pop a hole in there, but I've had a think. Oh, that's my drain. Yeah, I've had a think. You don't need to. Why? Well, I don't think you need to, because if you do this sequence, leave the air off, turn the pump off, turn the return off back to the pond so it can't backfill in, turn the bottom drain off so it can't fill. You're static, everything's static. What you need to do then is drain the water. Drain some water, so you're dragging the water level down. So actually the K1 will drop with the water, then boil it, then dislodge all them up, and then fully drain. That's what I'm going to try. Now the only danger is if you forget, you turn it on and things like that, but I'm very methodical, so I don't think I will. What I will do, bottom drain, allow the pump to continue, drag it down to the level I want it to, turn the valve off to the pond return to the pond so it can't backfill from the pond, back siphon, put the pump off on standby, boil it, put the pipe in into the middle of the Eazypod so it can't get through into the centre, or sorry, back to the pond, and then technically boil the water, get all the crap off, then open the drain, then fill it back up, flush it a little bit, maybe bubble it again, drain again, and then the water level will drop and then you need to do a water change unless you've got an auto top off. So that's what I'm going to try. If you guys have done that, let me know. Is it a good idea? Do you do that? Do you not do that? Do you just leave it at that level and just have them flap so it can't get too high and then drain? Because I'm new to the Eazypod. And on that note, with my fat thumb, on that note, I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up because I've been at work all week. So, lid's back on. Fish seem happy as Larry. Thanks for watching. The last few weeks, just want to mention something before I finish, and I might do a video on this on the next one. I've noticed that there's a lot of hate on YouTube lately, and I noticed one at Gary Gatwick Coy. Gatwick Coy put a post on his page about misinformation on YouTube and about YouTubers and so-called koi tubers, as they're getting called now. And I'm one of them people that will just stand up if I think it's wrong, or someone needs dialing back a little bit. I'll just put my pipe in and bring it back down to some sort of level, some sort of context. Now I've got to admit, there is been an explosion, an absolute explosion the last year or two of YouTube channels. I've had this one going for a while and I've only got 2,600 subscribers. It can take a lot of time unless you really hit on it. I don't really go to town with my videos, as you can tell. But there's a lot of people out there. There's a hell of a lot of people with koi and sharing what they are doing, and that's all I see it as. Take it with a pinch of salt. Take the information with a pinch of salt. But there were just some comments out there about I think the general discussion was they were slating a YouTuber, but the YouTuber actually was a dealer apparently. And they says that it's okay to go from a warm pond, i.e. their setup, which is warm, into a cold outdoor pond. And it started with this slating YouTubers off and things like that. And I piped in because it actually wasn't just a hobby YouTuber, it was a dealer. So yeah, so let's take things with a pinch of salt. Life's hard enough, as we know. Life is hard enough. Take things with a pinch of salt. I might do a video on that, and yeah, just enjoy the hobby for what it is. And if you like something, you like it. If you don't, move on. You don't, we don't always have to get into conflict with everybody. I'm the worst for it sometimes, because I don't like to. I'm a nice chap, I'm a nice lad, but if I see some sort of wrongdoing, I can't bloody help myself. I have to say something and just bring it back down to a level. And I did on this post the other week. Unfortunately, Gary, I've got a real mutual respect for Gary. I've never met him in the flesh, but I've had some conversation with him through YouTube and through Facebook and stuff. And I think he thinks I'm a decent guy, so he actually stuck up because a couple of people piling in and things like that. You know what it's like. But I will warn you as well, there is a lot of YouTubers out there and a lot of people saying certain things, so take everything with a pinch of salt. It's not how it should be done for most. I like to think that most of my information is pretty level-headed. It's not going to put your core at risk, so I would like to think that I'm one of them people that's quite on the knowledge side of things, not just spouting out crap. So anyway, on that, take it with a pinch of salt, enjoy it, and I will see you on the next one next week. Have a fabulous weekend, have a fabulous week. Look after yourselves, look after your family, look after your koi. Let's hope this war gets sorted sooner rather than later, and spring is on its way.